Okay, the
Mr.
session is
Sugo,
being
what happened?
recorded.
What
Sorry.
happened, Mr. Sugo? Last time's recordings, classes I got just last night.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we
So
will, we will make sure that those should be sent, on the same day. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Please.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. So
Okay.
I will, and Imran and Natasha and fourth one who is not available. I would like to, formalize the schedule and the systematic way and the systematic sequence of the learning outcomes. And from now and onwards. And let me give you a little briefing that for every unit you can see that there are some learning outcomes. Yeah, learning outcome 1, learning outcome 2, learning outcome 3, learning outcome 4. Okay, so in every learning outcome you have you know the indicative content. Like in every learning outcome there is indicative content like developing databases for organizations. So subtopics are organizational structures, data elements, data sets, forms, reports, for example, relationship, the attributes, blah, 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 blah. So these are the main key terms that you have to understand. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So for example, in the next, you know, indicative content, there is more, the database requirements, entity relationship diagram, data flow diagrams, data dictionary, and many things there. So what I have done now, you will get the one PowerPoint slide of every learning outcome. For example, the first one, this is the second time we have already discussed about the database. The last one lecture was a kind of a comprehensive overview of the course, and before than that, we had studied one slide from the book Peter Norton. There was a chapter databases. So for you, it's a good thing that the database part one, for example, this one is purely designed on the learning outcomes with indicative content of the first learning outcome, like organizational structure, data elements, these things. So let me show you quickly that maybe we can skip there, but Imran, you can definitely repeat it, and the Natasha and whoever wanted to recap this, you can do this. So we have already discussed about the need of the organizational structure, like there should be some database and how the data is included into the organization, like boss, worker, so they can be stored into the database. Sorry, I'll be going through quickly, but you will have these slides to be sent, and you should be able to download from the Moodle as well, right?
Okay. No problem.
So I've defined like what is data elements, some definition, some the pictures to make you understand that what it is, and then what is data set, forms, reports, entity, and relationships, attributes, primary key, foreign key, type of the variables, their length, and few more things. Yeah. So you can recap this first slide, and today I will start with the second learning outcome, which is based on these contents, right? Obviously, there are few things to be repeated and explained in the first one and the second one, but don't worry, once you will go through the first learning outcome, and then if you have any difficulty, then you are most welcome to raise any question on the forum or by the email that we can discuss later on anytime you want. But formally what we will be doing, one class, one session will be mandatory on each learning outcome. Yeah, and I have tried my best to give you the detailed PowerPoint slide of every learning outcome. Is it okay? Previously, we were in the process, and we were, making this presentations and trying to get it formalized. So now in onwards you will have this structure to be studied, one session on one learning outcome. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let me go ahead with the part 2, because the first one contains the kind of general introductory databases, and Faisal, you must remember that we have already taken like 2 sessions on the general database discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I hope that Imran and Natasha will not have any problem. So let me start with.
Mr. Sugho, will you
Yeah.
send me this all the database slides that you created for us?
I will not only see you, I will upload Moodle so that you should be able to download at any time.
Okay, but is it mentioned can you mention properly this? Is it like a UK varsity project and 1, 2, 3, 4 that we're gonna be mess around, because there is lots of sometimes maybe I gotta be a bit confused. So that's why I thought that if you upload or send me the email that I can download it and I can make it a folder difference, and I can, before I start a session next class, I can study this also the database 3 and which more outcome 3, that will be get more information and I will be prepared for
Right.
ask a lot of questions.
Now what we will do, instead of sending into the emails, and obviously, reading through the emails and getting every time, the material from emails, it's not a good practice. However, Moodle is your learning management system. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
everything is, the stuff, directly log into the Moodle, go to the unit like a database management system. You should be able to download your assignment brief. You should be able to download your resources file. You should be able to download all the relevant slides. Yeah. You should be able to download your books, from the Moodle. So Moodle will be one platform for you, and every time it will be easy for you to download the things from the central location. Yeah, makes sense?
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Okay, good. So here, if you could look at the indicative content part 2, learning outcome 2, this is on the relational database design. Yeah, design a relational database. So what's going to be discussed here, that what should be the database requirements, entity relationship diagram, data flow diagrams, data dictionary, decomposition, functional dependencies, and you can clearly see this, that these are the terms that you need to be very well have a knowledge, so that you should be able to explain this.
All right.
Yeah. So what is the flow? You are on a learning outcome. It has a header that be able to design a relational database in line with that client brief. So what basically you need to understand, you need to study, you need to have a knowledge of these indicative content. Imran, are you getting me?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Okay. So in order to quickly catch the things, very well, what you will be doing, the way we will be doing that, I will be giving you the PowerPoint slides and the definitions, the tutorial on every indicative content. Yeah. So instead of making this, that what I am doing, like explaining the particular PowerPoint slide, this PowerPoint slide is a connected list of topics that is in the indicative content. Right? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we start with the database requirements. Yeah. So for database requirement, you should determine the purpose of your system, that why you are creating the system, the tables you need in the system. Obviously, for creating a database, you know well that previously we discussed that database stores the data in the form of tables, and tables are based on the rows and the columns. Yeah, and so that's why you need to know that what number of tables you need, determine the fields you need in the tables, identify the fields with unique values, determine the relationship between the tables, refine the design, and to add data, populate the tables, like creating tables, and other objects. So definitely these terms like other objects and the relationships will be further explored into the next slides. Yeah, when you will really be creating the database. Now, entity relationship diagram. Basically, let me give you superficially an idea before you do anything, like before you start any project. Yeah, you need to write some representation like entity relationship diagram. You know well that you need to create a diagram initially to represent your model of the database. Make sense?
Yes.
Like when you create the building, yeah, before the building you get the architectural map of the building, like a layout plan, the front view of the house, how many rooms will be there, how they will be in size. So ERD is one of the diagram which gives the relationship between the entities. Yeah, and let me tell you what are those entities. For example, the relationship can be between people, the objects, places, concepts, or events within a system. ERD is a data modeling technique that can help define business processes, and it will give you a layout of the database. Let me go further into the pictorial representation. For example, these are the entities. Sales representative is the entity, product is another entity, warehouse is the another entity, customer order. These are the entities, yeah, that you need to define the relationship between those. Your database design will have some relationship, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So you will be able to use the create the entity relationship diagram based on these some symbols. Obviously, there are well-defined, predefined symbols to create anything that have already the prior knowledge and understanding created or given by the authors. For example, the group of the researchers or the standards, they have advised these entities, like the square is a kind of the entity, then square inside a square is a weak entity. Relationship is to be shown through the are you able to see my cursor?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the relationship is shown to be through the diamond diagram, like attributes are given in the oval. Yeah, so there are much more many things there, and so this is about the entity relationship diagram. So once you are aware with this entity relationship symbols, then you should be able to use these for creating the entity relationship diagram. Yeah. Obviously, you will need little more time to study to make it clear, to put in in memory that okay, these are the diagrams for the these are the symbols for the entity relationship, and once you will be in sequence, then you will understand more, and you will not be in difficulty. Yeah. So now there comes a data flow diagram. Once you created the layout diagram, I would say, let's say that entity relationship diagram, the relationship will describe that how they will be connected, the data flow diagram will explain to you that how the data or information will be processed, right? How the data will flow, as the name implies, data flow diagram. So, for example, there is a user and wants to place an order, then this order will be passed through some steps. For example, the invoice will be generated. The invoice will lead to the collect payment entity, and then the another entity, the fulfillment department, will ship the product, will contact the user, and the shipment product will have the interaction or the information to be taken from the user. Yeah. So at some point you will need to decide these things for the database design. Does it make a sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah. Obviously, if I ask you that okay, this is a database design program, for example, MS Access or SQL Server or any other database, Oracle, yeah, and give me the database design of a company, then they are not supposed to ask you to start using creating the tables and give an implementation, and at the end what will happen if you will not have a proper design, then you will not be. Can I put you on a hold?
Yes,
for a minute? Yeah, someone is.
ইমরান,
Yes.
কি করো?
কিছু না, শুনতেছি।
বুঝতেছো?
তো বেসিক এখন মানে হয়তো জিনিসগুলো টার্মস গুলো এরকম বুঝতেছি না, বিকজ আই ডোন্ট হ্যাভ এনি নলেজ, বাট যেটা যেভাবে দেখাইতেছে এটা তো মানে বুঝতেছি, বুঝবো না কেন? যা দেখাইতেছে এদিক কি, বাট ওর কথা বুঝতে আমার সমস্যা হইতেছে।
ওর কথা বুঝতে আমারও সমস্যা হয়।
Hello.
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 Yes.
Sorry for the interruption. Okay.
All right.
Right. So is that clear that you need database design, yeah, so that you can implement the database according to the given database design? Make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay, let me go ahead. So for the data flow diagram, you need some symbols, yeah, to represent your design, to represent your data flow. For example, there is this square is used in external entity. The process is shown with a circle. The data store is shown with for example, this rectangular shape, and it's cut from the one side. And data flow is represented with the arrow,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
obviously, once these are the basic things, and you won't be able to create or understand the data flow diagrams, right away, until you should have the basics of these things. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you need a data dictionary. Yeah? A data dictionary, there's the next topic. What is data dictionary? Data dictionary is a collection of descriptions of the data, objects, or items in a data model for the benefit of programmers and others who need to refer to them. So what you will need to do after creating the database design using the entity relationship diagram, yeah, and data flow diagrams, you need to produce the data dictionary.
Okay.
Yeah. So the data dictionary will give you, in the first step in the analyzing the system of objects with which users interact, is to identify each object and its relationship to the other objects. In other words, it defines the data objects of each user in the database. By this way, it helps various users and the objects which exist in the database. For example, the question arises that what the data dictionary will include. Yeah.
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 For
Can you
example,
repeat again, if you don't mind, what is the database? Can you repeat again?
not database, data dictionary.
Dictionary, exactly. Sorry.
Yeah. Data dictionary will have a collection of the information about data objects.
That means like you mean the whole information. Like if I make the one column like a name, whatever they put in the name, that is the whole data object, and it is the storage, the place that called the data dictionary, isn't it?
Yeah, like the various information related with your database design. For example, the type of the the columns, their sizes, and all about the design specification.
Oh, that called data dictionary. But what is the insight of the data? Like if I make a one column name is like I put the name, like
Yeah,
suppose example serial number. When I put the number
meaning
one,
is
two, three, four,
every
isn't that
information.
okay?
Yeah, every information that is useful for the benefit of programmers.
Oh, that's
Okay.
called data dictionary.
Yeah, let me come to the next slide, and then you will have a clear concept. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Its advantage is it gives a well structured and clear information about the database. Yeah.
Okay.
One can analyze the requirements, redundancy like duplicate columns, tables, etc. It is very helpful for administrator or any new DBA to understand the database, because as I told you that after creating the data flow diagram and the entity relationship diagrams, you need to decide the specification, the sizes, their relationships. Furthermore, the documented well, that should be stored into the data dictionary. Excuse me. And then you should be able to either develop or any programmer can develop. So obviously, once you will have the data dictionary, it has an advantage. Yeah, but it is also a disadvantage that it should be well designed in advance. If something is wrong, yeah, it is not well designed, then it will create a problem. Is it right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And obviously, the cost of data dictionary will be high as it includes the initial build and hardware changes, as well as cost of the maintenance. Only technical users can understand this. Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
simply, data dictionary in database is the further high level and low level, the description of the design. At the moment, yeah, until we go to the actual database, reach to the database, you need to understand at this time that superficially data dictionary has a detailed information about the design of the database, right?
Yes.
Next, let me go to the little more slides, and then we can come back to get an example of the data dictionary. Yeah.
Okay.
So decomposition is another the topic. Decomposition means dividing the table into more than one table.
Okay.
For example, if you have a table of student, yeah, student can have the let me start with for example, student name, student roll number, student date of birth, student address, and student course details is this column. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of putting the information of the student courses into every student, yeah, would it make a sense to create a separate course details, yeah, and give the course number 1, 2, 3, 4 here?
No, it's not making sense. Why? Because we can create it already with the database. So why don't you make another database, and that we have to relation it together?
When you divide the tables, yeah, then it has some advantage, like you are basically normalizing, yeah, you are making the structure clear. Basically, I am following, to be honest, this indicative content, yeah, and by the flow of data dictionary, then there is a concept of the decomposition, functional dependencies, yeah, and let us go ahead into this simple definition, yeah, then let me reach to the why decomposition is needed, yeah. The term says that decomposition means dividing a table into more tables. Like I gave you the example, if you have a student, yeah, student 1, like a student seat number or roll number, student name, address, list of courses, yeah. If the list of courses with the names, for example, database, many web-based development, many things there, if you wanted to store here, then it was fine. But instead of giving the whole unit description into the student table, yeah, it could be done with the numbers only, yeah. So here is a term that decomposition is only splitting the tables. Simply you only remember at this time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So lossy decomposition, lossless decomposition. Lossy decomposition, when we decompose the table after recombining it, we don't get the accurate result. And lossy decomposition, when we decompose the table after recombining, we lose something. Basically, these are the random and detailed topics, yeah, that may be discussed further, but at the moment you only have a definition that okay, the decomposition is dividing the tables into more tables. Okay. Yeah, because we are not in very much we don't want to spend more time on the decomposition techniques, yeah, and its purposes until there is more learning outcome or assessment criteria further. At the moment, let us remain on this simple definition, yeah. Decomposition is a term, definitely every single aspect of the database, yeah, like from the entity relationship diagrams, from the data flow diagrams, the attributes, you can do a research, you can do a PhD on a single topic, yeah, like what is decomposition, what are the entity relationship diagrams. So don't need to go through into very much detail during this session, yeah. Maybe later on you can study, or if you wanted me to go through apart from the sequence of the topics, then we can go later on, but let me finish these superficially first, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now functional dependencies. What happens when you create a table, then you need to describe the dependency. For example, name, address, and date of birth. Basically, they come under the SIN. SIN is the social insurance number, like the national insurance number is, the here in UK, the SIN is used in USA and Canada. Yeah. So the name, address, and date of birth is dependent on the social insurance number. But for example, the course, if you wanted to know the date of a completed course, for example, then you should have the information that which course. Without course information, you will not have the correct information. Functional dependency is the relationship between the two attributes. You try to understand what we are talking about. We are talking about the database design. Yeah, we are further going into the detail. Yeah, of the design. Yeah, that might be little bit out of your head. That okay, the terms are coming in front of you, and making little bit confusion. But don't worry. Let us try to understand these terms superficially first. Yeah, and then once you will get the examples when you will be the implementing or designing your database, then you will have to consider these things. For example, in your database you need to define the functional dependency. For example, you created a database for the in your assignment. That's let me go to like here. Yeah, there is the queens, the customers, staff, orders, payments, products. So will you be able to say that which one is dependent on which entity?
The customers.
I'm not no. I mean, at some point, some of the entities will be directly have a relationship with the other entity, dependent. Yeah. If the
products and payments.
For example, if the for example the student doesn't exist, for example, then the name, address, and date of birth of the student cannot exist somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So at some point you will need to explain the functional dependencies. Let me go ahead. Then there is a simple concept of the database table, that is the defined under this structure, like attribute name. The row is called the tuple. Yeah, that's defined in the mathematically terms.
Okay.
Yeah, the database table is defined under the tuple. Tuple is a mathematical term which can have either set of attributes and against there is a values. Yeah, so obviously, normally, how do you define the database table? The database table is stored into the database, into the organization in rows and columns. And further, mathematically, you can represent the database table into this way. Let me go to the other indexes. In the database, the indexes, for example, if you have 10 records, yeah, into the one database table, for example, student 1, student 2, student 3, up to 10. They have a names and their own characteristics like date of birth and male, female, gender, many things here. You must have seen a database, also the book, the index at the end of the book. Have you seen any index of the book at the end of book?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you have thousands of the records.
One more thing, sir. Sometimes we see in a website also the index page. That is also data?
Yeah, but when you create, there is a little difference.
Okay.
The table of contents is a sequential chapter by chapter information. Yeah. But index gives you a little bit different, a quick referencing method.
For example,
if you wanted to search a word from the book, for example, entity, yeah, the entity word can be present in chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. But at the end of the index, the entity can have more number of pages where the entity occurred. The similar way, you create the indexes to effectively retrieve your records from the database files. based on some attributes. Is that clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Yeah. How that we will be creating, doing this further later on. Constants. Constants are rules that define the database and enforces to improve the data integrity. Data integrity is the reliability. Data integrity means reliability, that through which rule the data will be stored. Through which if you want to say that you want only store the data, for example, into numbers, is it possible that you might be able to use any name at the field of the number?
I couldn't catch you, sorry.
For example, if you are completing the online form,
Yeah.
and they are asking you to enter the date of birth, that must be into the like a month 01, 02, 03, and
Yes.
month here should be.
This will be the numerology of that
So-
number.
Yeah. So will some of the websites allow you to store the data into other format?
Okay, alphabet.
In the alphabet, will they allow?
No. If
No.
it is required for the number, that it
Yeah.
must be put in the number.
Yeah. So they are controlled by the constants.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Constants are the rules like a unique constant, referential constant. Yeah. And let me give you the list of other constants: not, null, unique, primary key, foreign key, check, defaults. Imran, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm listening.
Not sleeping?
No, I'm not sleeping.
Well, okay, try to participate. If you have any question, then quickly ask, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, sure.
And also in SQL also, that I mean that a part of this, the constantings.
Say again?
Okay. What is the part of the SQL?
Sorry, speak loudly, please.
Okay, I mean there are the one options that like also in SQL that we have also following the constants.
Yeah.
So there is also work for the SQL also.
Yes, previously this index, this topic has been explained generally. What are the constants? Then there is a unique constant, referential constant, and
constant, okay.
some definition, the short definitions: not, null, unique, foreign key. These are the constants. Now we are here on the SQL. Yeah.
All right.
SQL is the structured query language. Is a language, yeah, that can be used by any database like Oracle. You can use the SQL with the Microsoft Access. You can use the SQL with SQL Server, and that's a generic language. When SQL is used to communicate with the database, yeah, to retrieve the database, to manipulate the database, and to manage the database, to perform tasks such as update the database, retrieve data from the database. How you do? It's very simple to use any SQL query. Are you aware with the SQL?
A bit of aware.
Sorry?
Just bit, not too much information.
Okay, no worries. Yeah.
Can I ask one thing, Mr. Subro?
Yeah.
I know it's not a part of the database, but I really wanted to know what is basically the language. Like sometimes we heard that the SQL language is a PHP language, C++ is a language. How it created and what is it basically?
How we created?
Yeah, but how it created. Basically, JavaScript is a language that we can learn, but this language, what is this basically, and how it created? That I really want to know. Like a SQL is a language who communicate with the database. I want to know, but what is basically the computer language? What does it mean?
Okay. You remember I had given you the Peter Norton slide. There was the type of the programs of the software, application software, system software. Yeah. So that concept, will make you clear that what is the difference between the programming language and, what is the difference between the software and what is the difference between the compilers. What I can do, I can give you another detailed notes on these, understanding. I'm sorry, that if I will start, the explaining the differences between those.
That's good. Yeah, I understand that.
So I would advise you to go through the first chapter of, for not first, there is some, the distinction between the types of the languages there, which explains to you very well. Yeah?
Okay, no problem. That's fine.
Now let me quickly, complete this slide so that we should be on the target of, explaining the learning indicative, content 2. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, because to be honest, if we will not achieve the target, then we will be little bit behind, the schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Obviously,
know.
these are very interesting, and they have a, more depth of knowledge to understand. But we have to also, come to quickly, the assignments and forming and, so that you should be able to write your own assignments and give the feedback, come up with the initial draft, so that you should target the assessment criteria. Yeah.
Okay.
So apart from the SQL queries, you will be, I can advise you to type in Google. Maybe I will give you the demo next time, because there is the third constraint is implementing the database using SQL, advanced SQL queries. Yeah. In the next session, I will go through the SQL, and let me come up with here. Forms, you know well that what are the forms, and you understand the data represented into the forms.
Data represented on the forms.
You know what is the form?
Forms is the information that you can display. There's what's called that you're looking for, basically.
1 second, let me see. Is maybe someone wanted to
join
the
session.
I think complement the contemporary issues in HRM. Yeah. So they are about to start at 1 p.m. Yeah. But no worries, what I do, I send this, you can understand that I have made these slides very descriptive. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you go through the remaining few more slides. Yeah. And then what I will do in the next session, you can study little bit more advanced from slide number maybe 19. Yeah. And quickly I will cover those slides into the next session. Yeah. And we'll start with the third slide, that is the indicative content 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
So I need to finish this session at the moment, but you have the PowerPoint slide 1 and 2 now. You should spend some time on this and read the things in detail. Yeah. And if you wanted to go through the another examples via Google, then it should be fine. And by the next the session, we should be able to review this second one quickly, and 1 or 2 more topics a revision, and the third session will be completed. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And can you upload these 2 slides? I mean, right now, or you will take time?
Yes, definitely. I will be uploading these. And how about we have to start the web development next unit? Yeah.
Okay.
And is Imran, are you in UK as well?
Yeah.
Okay. What I need to do, Faisal, do you have Imran's contact number?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Let me stop the recording and stop the session. Yeah. and then I contact you over the phone so that we can schedule the next unit. Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. So I end this session so that anyone else can use this. Yeah.
All right. Okay.